Hello everyone, CompleteIndie here, and welcome. So, Modern Horizons 2. Now, anyone who has talked to me about Magic for any non-zero amount of time is aware that the first Modern Horizons was my favorite set. Was, past tense. Modern Horizons 2 blew it out of the park, and obviously I wanted to build a Battle of Wits deck for it. I considered Chris, since a Planeswalker commander that doesn't waste text on being your commander was kinda cool, and had possible neat interactions. But I just did a black-green deck with Sarulf, so I considered Garth, but he seemed really weird, and I want to save my 5-color deck for something special. But Zabaz? I've always liked modular. It's a weird and neat mechanic, even if it's not perfect or even my favorite. But this was a 1-drop Boros commander, and when I saw it, I realized this was probably perfect. So, meet Zabaz, the Glimmerwasp. Zabaz is a 1-mana insect artifact creature with modular 1, and an ability that makes modular triggered abilities, specifically the ability that moves the counters around, put that many counters +1 instead. Additionally, I can pay 1 red mana to destroy my own artifacts, and 1 white to give Zabaz flying until end of turn. My first and immediate thought with Zabaz was to build an artifact aggro deck. One of the first things to get into the deck were a bunch of cards with modular. Arcbound Sliff, Arcbound Shikari, Arcbound Overseer, just to name a few, but there's a bunch more in the deck. Not all of them, but a decent chunk. I also opted in for many cards that boost my artifact creatures, such as Chief of the Foundry and Tempered Steel as anthems, but as well as Felidar Retreat and Steel Overseer for +1/+1 counters. In the vein of +1/+1 counters is also Agitator Ant, Ortsov Advocus, and Nils Discipline Enforcer, which all serve as political cards. We also have Core Prowler and Karn's Bastion as examples of proliferation, which probably also counts. The goal of the deck is to get the creatures with modular, whether it be Zabaz itself or just any artifact creature, to be as big as possible. In the possibility that Zabaz is no longer viable, we have alternate artifact creatures that work well with our themes, such as Hangerback Walker and Stonecoil Serpent, as powerful creatures that already use +1/+1 counters, as well as Darksteel Juggernaut as an indestructible source for all the counters to be put on too. However, in order for this deck to work as we want, we also need sacrifice outlets. Barrage Tyrant and Byron Stoutarm are there to allow us to sacrifice creatures to hurt our opponents directly and trigger modular. Meanwhile, Audacious Reshapers, Bray's Apprentice, and Goblin Engineer are all examples of cards we can use to sacrifice any artifact for other types of value. There's also a lot of recursion to work well with those sacrificed artifacts. While Gift of Immortality, Paya's Revolution, and Sword of the Realms do wonders for getting back modular creatures, Brought Back and Face Reward also get back permanents that recently died. Buried Ruin and Daring Archaeologist get back a specific card, and cards like Open the Vaults and Wake the Past get back all of our artifacts. Hoffrey Ghostford, Osgir the Reconstructor, and Feldon of the Third Path are also good at creating tokens of artifacts either as they die or after the fact, each with their own pros and cons. They're all pretty good. There's also a ton of Artifact Matters cards in the deck as a whole. Blinkmoth Urn, Bronze Guardian, and Saheeli's Directive encourage lots of artifacts. Earthsworn Candace and Low Shield Clockwork Scholar encourage at least always having an artifact if you can help it. Leonin Abanus and Rebet, Architect of Ascension, protects your artifacts, and so much more. We also can't forget interaction, things like Dispatch, Yugen the Ineffable, and Wear and Tear as removal, as well as mana fixing both through multicolored lands like Temple of Triumph, mana rocks like Skyclave Relic, and even Mycosynth Wellspring, a 2-drop that can be destroyed by Zabaz to tutor basics. Finally, we have card draw through Doretti, Scrap Savin, and Fervent Mastery, and we have ways to make our giant creatures unblockable through Key to the City and Rogue's Passage. As for cards that could be really good for the deck, but budget isn't permitting, I would recommend Esper Sentinel, the Ozolith, and Walking Ballista. Esper Sentinel can be a modular target, meaning that if it comes to it, it can force players to pay a lot of mana to prevent you from drawing cards. The Ozolith works interestingly, as any creature with modular will put its counters on both the target creature and on the Ozolith, effectively doubling your counters. And Walking Ballista is an amazing target for the +1/+1 counters, being able to be both a big creature and targeted damage. All in all, this deck is around $135 as of writing, but the set has yet to come out, so I wouldn't be horribly surprised if this changed shortly after release. Zabaz is honestly a really Zabaz is a really, really cool commander, and it's my first Burrows deck I've made personally in a long time, so I'm actually quite happy with how it came out. This was a lot of fun to make, and maybe I should try more aggressive decks in the future. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I've got stuff in the works, including another Magic video next month, possibly another Battle of Wits either in July or August, as well as other stuff. So just get ready for it. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, a comment, maybe even subscribe for more. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you enjoy these videos, one which the algorithm thinks you'll like, or the most recently uploaded video. Until next time, ciao.